Hello, everybody. In today's interview, we're going to be talking with Sean and Wiley from Scada. Sean, Wiley, how are you guys doing today?
Oh, great to be talking to you.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the show today. So we're going to dive right into things because we just have a few minutes here. To kick things off, you guys are with a company called Scada, and Scada really specializes in AR, augmented reality systems for industrial applications. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit, to start things off, about some of the differences between VR, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard about, and AR.
Cool. Let's try to sum that up really quickly. Augmented reality and virtual reality. And so with AR, we are augmenting, 3D objects into the real world. So, you look through your camera or through glasses and see your room exactly how it is, but, you might see a meter over there on top of a boiler and whatnot. And with a VR, you could think of it as you put on those glasses, you're transported to an entirely new place. We're using the VR aspect in our app with, digital clones. So you could be on one side of the world, put on your glasses, or just be looking at your phone and see your digital factory exactly how it would look, but from anywhere.
Right, that's very cool. So tell us a little bit about your product and what it is, and what kind of features you guys have to help people.
Yeah, and so our product, really, the idea is that anyone can whip out their phone and scan their environment really quickly, primarily in an industrial setting, and be able to see data, different types of documentation, diagrams of all sorts, and all kinds of things, including videos from people in the past, and just basically anything digital might be floating there right around an asset, right where they might need it. And so that's the big thing, is putting the information right next to your machinery, right where you might need it.
Right, yeah, that's amazing. I know so much information gets lost into network drives and folder structures and other things that, a lot of times people will try to make stuff and it just gets lost in its placement. So having it right there is pretty cool. So tell me a little bit then, who are you really specifically designing your product for?
So yeah, we're really marketing, and it's really designed primarily for small industrial teams, small to medium to large, really for the people managing them and for people trying to teach each other, trying to pass along information in those environments. So having access to all your Scada data right there on the spot, or having the ability to film a video and leave it in one spot, leave it there for the future employees, or being able to train only once, film a video and have it pass along to the next generation. That's kind of the idea there. And there's all kinds of different use cases. It's exciting to see what people are doing and going to be doing with it. But stepping into augmented reality and industrial workplace, it can serve all kinds of purposes.
Right, and you talked a little bit about having all of your Scada data available. Tell us a little bit about how that works.
Yeah, so it's been exciting to work with VT Scada. It's so quick how you can basically just import your tags straight into our system, pull them into folders, organize them, and then plop them right out there. And as meters, you can create different digital representations of pumps, valves, tanks, all kinds of interesting things. You can import 3D models, but the actual Scada data comes in really cleanly, especially from VT Scada. It's exciting to see how quick and easy it's been for people who've been using it. And it makes it available right there. Anyone with their phone can set stuff up right after that.
Right, and is it the phone that's actually querying the data, or what's kind of your user base look like? How does that work, just quickly?
Yeah, so it's we have cloud servers that are pulling in the data. We're going to offer these local standalone servers for more private security, vulnerable installations in the future. But now it pulls all the data up to the cloud, records it. You can decide on our web interface how to. What to record, what to bring in, and what to monitor, and then instantly everyone has access on the phone via communication to our servers.
Right. And you and I first talked about this in the wintertime, and I know that I was able to set that up quite quickly, create my user, and have the data available. It was very cool and very easy to set up. Tell me a little bit about what feedback you're getting from other people, in the industry, because I'm sure you've talked to a number of people by now to show your technologies.
I think there's a lot of, we've been hearing, a little disbelief until they actually use it. You really need to, put it in someone's hands. I think there's been a lot of promises of kind of the sleazy sales guys, pitching this AR thing. But yet, when you hear friends or someone who's used it and it just does not live up to expectations. And so I think, we're getting over that hurdle, but it takes getting, the product into someone's hands. Before you had to really go scan QR codes, or there's really long wait times to see what you want in AR, and there's just been a lot of trouble there. But as of about a year or two ago, the technology really has shifted, and we ran with it. And so, I think there's been a lot of disbelief turned into seeing, okay, wow, this could be something big. This really could help. Starting to work through the potential use cases that this could do. You kind of see that in people's eyes as they use it, and so that's been really exciting.
Right. Yeah, that's very cool. And I know that, as I said earlier, I have used it on my phone and it does work. It is very cool. So tell me, you talked about a technological change a couple years ago. Tell us what was that change?
Yeah, and like Sean mentioned, the AR until a couple of years ago was really centered around scanning QR codes. And so only a couple of years ago, Microsoft made their Azure Spatial Anchors systems available, and that allows cross-device, really saving stuff in a local space by being able to scan your environment in all kinds of different ways, recording it, and then being able to localize yourself. And so that's the technology that really allows us to really create these giant experiences that are all coordinated and hooked up together. And so you can find things from one room to another and, display your entire facility's worth of information from like a quick scan on your phone. And so that's the big thing. We've jumped on it. We've added a whole bunch of interesting, add-ons, features, made it, kind of improved it in a number of ways. And we're really excited to share just how easy it is with people.
Right. That's very cool. And where do you see your product in the next 10 years, say, or where do you see the space in the next 10 years?
I see in the next 5 years, I think a lot of people are going to be using their phones to do their daily job. They're going to, whip out a phone. You'll see this all the time, pointing it at machines, looking it around, kind of like looking where to go, and you'd look really weird from the outside, but they'll see an arrow pointing them how to get anywhere. And then I think, 5 years from there, and probably about 10 years from now, we're going to all be wearing glasses, or even, there's already companies coming out with these contact lenses. And so, it's coming for sure. Phones are going to be one of the first mediums to make that happen. The glasses aren't quite there yet. We were experimenting with a HoloLens too for a while, and it's just not quite there unless you have a really specific use case. But the phone is, and Apple's new AR phones and these new Androids that are coming out can handle this stuff so well, where they have the LiDAR detection, and you get these 1 or 2 second scans. You can just point it, boom, everything shows up. You don't have to scan a QR code or anything. And so that is just happening right now. And so, as soon as, everyone starts to realize that is what's possible from these new phones, it's really going to, I think, take off. And then, all of a sudden, I think we won't be able to look back at a time that we, weren't using AR to get through our daily work.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that looking back at some of this stuff, it's going to seem a little bit archaic that you couldn't just pull out your phone and, imagine and see some of the values and some of the warnings and things that you'd expect on some of these assets. So that's going to be very cool. Well, I appreciate your guys' time today. So Sean Wiley, it was great to have you on the show.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Thanks a lot, Dave.